The Mavic 3 Pro is not worth it. Here's why.
Baby, take me away.
So I crashed my Air 3 drone again, and I needed to get something in the meantime while it was being replaced. So I picked up a Mavic 3 Pro, and I thought this was a step up. I thought it was a positive move forward in my drone career, in my videography and filmmaking career, hashtag cinematic. But long story short, I was sadly mistaken. We are going to jump into a review, and this is a cutthroat review by an actual user who films every single day with the drone. I do wedding videography, I do real estate videography, I do corporate advertisements, I do all sorts of video work, and for almost every single project, I'm using a drone. So just about every single day, I've got one of these guys up in the air, and I have a good bit of experience. I've been doing that now for almost over 8 years actually now. So after 8 years of using drones, I have a good bit of experience under my belt. I've owned just about every single one. I had the initial Phantom 3 Pro, was my very first one back in 2017. Then I jumped to a Mavic, then a Mavic Pro 2 Pro. Then I jumped to the Air 2S, then the Air 3, and I've had a couple Air 3s because I crashed a few. And then now I'm at the Mavic 3 Pro, and let's dive into it. Of course, looking at the Mavic 3 Pro on paper compared to the Air 3, it's clearly the better drone. It's got a lot more to offer, a lot more features and specs going for it, but that was not my experience. First and foremost, the interface on this Mavic 3 Pro is very, very slow. When I go to change between lenses from the 1x camera to the 3x or the 3x to the 7x, or any of those back to the 1x, it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 or 8 seconds sometimes to get to that new lens. And when you're capturing things on the fly, you're doing a shoot or you're capturing something live action, you don't want to miss it. So it's really important to be able to switch between those quickly, and that's not the case. Not to mention, when you click on the playback button to go back and see the shots that you've taken already, that takes insanely long. Sometimes you click that button for the playback and you actually think something's wrong and you didn't hit it because it takes that long to load the screen to show all your shots. The second thing I noticed was the battery life. Now, these actually, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure these boast a better battery life than what the Air 3 advertises. And yet, my experience has been not the case. I don't know if it's the larger drone, like heavier drone that takes more power to move, or if it's the higher processing power for these different cameras, but this thing did not last nearly as long. For real estate, for example, I have a great indicator because with the Air 3, when I show up to a house, I can do photo and video, circling around the house, getting every single angle twice, once for photo, once for video. And that means up, down, left, right, side, all the different angles. I can do that twice to do photo and video both on one battery on the Air 3. With a little bit extra too, like sometimes I have 20, 30, 40% left on the battery. When I tried to do that for the very first time with the Mavic 3 Pro, it was not enough to last that long, so I had to bring it back, put a new battery in, and then send it back up, just taking extra time. And that's frustrating when you're on a shoot and you're on the clock and you're trying to get things done quickly. I don't know what the exact amount of time that this thing lasts for me, but it is not long enough to do what I would like to do with a normal drone battery. With the Air 3, if I have 3 houses to shoot that day, I bring 3 batteries and I am good to go with some extra in each of them. With this, I'm very concerned with 4 batteries. Another odd one is the RC connection. I have found that this thing does not have as good of a connection to the remote controller as the Air 3 did. I don't know what it is because, once again, this is supposed to be a higher end drone. It's more expensive. It's marketed as more premium, more prosumer. And yet when I send it up to do what I normally do with my Air 3, I'm hitting the outer limits of what this thing can do. It starts losing connection before I've reached the distance that I'm trying to get to. So for example, with real estate, I'm trying to get maybe a super far back shot to show that a house is on water. I need to go to a high elevation and a good ways away to get a really wide view showing the house and what's around it. And this thing is not always able to do that the way I want to. I'll be honest, it's not so bad that I can't work around it, but it is not as ideal as with the Air 3, where I can do whatever I want to do with the drone as far as distance from me, and I never run into that issue. I don't think I have ever once hit the limits of the Air 3's connection to the RC. Like, it's never lost signal or even gotten close to it. This thing has at least 5 or 6 times since I've got it, and it's only been a couple weeks. And reason number 4 that this thing is not worth it to me is the lack of vertical shooting modes. Now, I know you don't have to have it. You can always crop in on a horizontal shot, make it vertical, and it works just fine. And I know also that the Air 3 does not technically turn the camera to go vertical. It just crops and it makes you a vertical shot. But what's great about that on the Air 3 at least is it's cropping that off so you can see what you're shooting, what's going to be in that frame on the vertical. On here, I'm guessing, and it sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't, and it's frustrating when I think I'm wide enough to get the shot that I want, and then I go and crop it and it's not quite the way I want it. It doesn't look right. I don't know why they couldn't have put this in this drone. It is a higher level drone, and in this day and age, even top videographers at the most professional level are filming a lot of content for social media. It's not like it's just vloggers that want to film vertical. There are very high-end cinematographers and filmmakers that are filming vertical content for clients for Instagram, TikTok, etc. So there's no reason that these drones shouldn't have a mode to do vertical. And that may be just a me problem, but that's something I use almost every day once again. When I'm filming real estate videos, I frequently am filming them for the realtor for Instagram. And so all of these videos are vertical on my camera, and I like to try to film vertical on my drone as well if I can, but have not been able to since I got this. And as a result of all of that, this thing's going back. When my Air 3 is done getting repaired by DJI from my latest crash, this thing's either going to be sold or returned or whatever. I'm not keeping it. I don't want it. I actually prefer the Air 3 over it. I know that it's crazy to say. I know that this is technically a higher end drone, and there are a couple things that I do like better about it. I do think the 1x camera on this is better. It looks nicer. It's got better dynamic range, but that is not a big enough selling point for me over all the other things in my normal usability that I do on a daily basis that I don't like as much about this. So take it or leave it. That's my opinion as a real end user who uses these drones every single day doing real estate, weddings, and corporate advertisements. I wasn't as thrilled as I thought I would be with this, and I wanted to share my story for those of you out there who are comparing the two drones and you're not sure which one to buy. I'd go with the Air 3.